Hey everybody, my name is Jennifer. This is Metatron speaking. Today I'm going to be talking to you about your healing journey and 7 different things that the archangels or your guides want to make you aware of as part of that healing journey. So the first thing that they bring up, and some of these you might know and some of these you might not, sometimes we need a reminder on some of them. The first aspect of this healing journey that they want to make you aware of is that healing with precision or healing with efficiency is an illusion. Emotional healing is an art, is how they are describing it. It is an art form. It is not something that is a science that you can just flick the switch and all of a sudden all the healing is complete and done. So here's what they say. There is no well-defined endpoint to emotional healing. And there are only different perspectives to gain and different stages of grief to experience. Healing happens in cycles and in layers. It cannot be processed in its entirety at one time. You do not get over a loss, but hopefully you come to a point where you can view it with more understanding and wisdom. So the next point they want to bring up about your healing journey is that suppressing your emotions will prolong your suffering. And it really feels like they probably put this one in here just to talk to me, because there are certain there are certain aspects of my healing journey that I'm still like trying to create distance between me and it, and it's pointless really, because as they say, it prolongs the suffering. So this is what they say. It will cause you suffering until you choose to allow your emotional energy to flow. You may feel that the event happened long ago and that you should not need to cry over it any further. However, healing does not follow a simple path to resolution. If you cannot look upon the situation for gratitude for what it taught you, then you are likely not done healing that event yet, because there is still wisdom that you can gain from it. So, obviously, our healing journey is not going to evolve if we are resistant to the journey itself. If you're placing limitations and judgments on yourself for having emotions for something that your brain tells you you should be over it, or haven't you cried enough, or haven't you thought about that enough? That's not how healing works. There's no cap on how much you need to um, how much you need to tap into to heal that. For every person, it's going to be different. If you are if you're trying to process your emotions and you're not getting to the point where you can find understanding from it, it might leave you in that in between space of um, grieving for longer as well. So, okay, we'll talk about this. Let me talk about the next thing they brought up. So, not deriving wisdom, this is what I talked about. Not deriving wisdom from your painful experiences becomes your prison. So, if you're going through, as we all are, if you're going through different traumatic experiences in your life, or different difficult emotional situations, and maybe you're sad about it, maybe you're mad about it, but you're not really examining it and getting deeper to see what the purpose of that event might be, then you're going to be, it's going to create a prison for you. So let me tell you what they say. If you do not challenge yourself to see the greater purpose for this painful event, you will perpetuate false beliefs about yourself, creator, or life in general. Views like God hates me, incarnating is stupid, or I deserve this suffering as punishment. These may be thoughts that people have that are really easy to kind of grasp onto, but they are far from the truth. What we come to experience on earth is well orchestrated and serves our highest good by giving us an opportunity to become more compassionate. It is a difficult process to find light where we can only see darkness. But the light is there, and if you are willing to look for it, it will leave you utterly transformed. So this is the hard work that each of us needs to do, really. We need to do this for each event in our life that has been very painful for us or very traumatic for us. We each need to take the time to look into that event to see what purpose it could serve. How could this be helping you become more loving, more compassionate, more understanding? And so it's a very, very difficult process because a lot of times there's a ton of resistance from the mind because the mind is like, you were wronged. There is nothing good that can come from this. This is only bad. And that's the same line of energy where these thoughts come up where you're starting to say things like, well, my guides aren't protecting me. They don't have my back. They aren't, look what happened. Why weren't they there? Why didn't they stop this? Um, it's the same energy of people who are like, I'm never incarnating again. After this, I'm done. I laugh at that. I laugh at that because I know, and there's a huge back conversation to go with this, but I know you're coming back. And you will know that, and you will choose to come back, but you have to be in that higher perspective to see why. Or people who think, oh, you start getting down on yourself. I deserve this suffering, or life is horrible, life sucks. All these thoughts that we cling on to. It's a lower vibration. It's what's comfortable, right? We want the simple answer. The simple answer is, I don't need to change because life just sucks, and that's the answer. The difficult, mature, higher perspective view is, this happened to you so you could change. This is encouraging you to change. Not that there's something, quote, wrong with you, but that there are beautiful qualities that you wanted to embody within your energy field permanently for all time. And the only way to get to them is through suffering. I have Yeshua's energy that stepped in right now. These learnings, they are so difficult to get to, but when we develop our soul, when we grow, we keep that forever. That is forever part of our energy. That is forever part of who we truly are, is when anything that changes our soul. Okay, let me look at the next point that they've made. Spend time in the full spectrum of your humanity, neither living only in joy or only in sorrow. So this is talking about balance, right? So this is what the guides say. For in joy is rejuvenation, ecstasy, and wonder. But in sorrow, there is healing, understanding, and wisdom. Emotional expression should always be present, but it should be balanced with joyful or comforting activities to ensure that you do not dive too deeply into sorrow and forget the joy of being alive. So this is important. So for everyone who is doing the hard work and you're digging deep into these things that happen that really hurt, and you're trying to understand them. Well, doing that hard work of digging in there, it's not a joyful process. It's a difficult process, and it's sad, and it's can bring up anger. Um, bring up a lot of feelings that are a lower vibration. So, what he's saying is they want you to dig deep. They want you to go into the emotions. They want you to solve this and to heal this and to understand this. And yes, to solve it and heal it and understand it, you have to go into lower emotions and you have to be okay with being there. And they want you to do this, but they also want you to balance your life. So the times that you're not digging deep into your sorrow to understand it, they want you to do things that bring you joy. They want you to be mindful of the pleasures of the physical body, is what he's saying. So, sensory things. So, the joy of, and everybody's different, right? Some people, you might put on a piece of clothing and you might be like, oh, this clothing feels so nice against my skin, right? Or you might brush your hair and you're like, oh, this feels so nice on my scalp. Or I give the example a lot of times of like washing your hands in cold water or washing your hands in warm water, and the temperature of the water or the temperature of your shower or your bath, that can be pleasurable. So anything that is something you taste, smell, see, hear, so this is like music. Um, this is looking at beautiful things. This is noticing the color of something and being like, wow, this is just, I love this color. This is a beautiful color. So it's balancing digging for wisdom within your sorrow with recognizing why it's a beautiful thing to be alive, why it's a beautiful thing to be incarnated. Because everyone who doesn't have a body wants a body. Everyone who doesn't have a body is excited to get into a body. All of us who have bodies, we're like, why are we here? We don't recognize the miraculousness of the body, of living moment to moment, of our breath, of our heartbeat, of just the things that we're able to do. I want to go over there, and you can just get up and walk over there. Like there's all these things that we take for granted, essentially. And so it's tapping into joy and gratitude while balancing it out with doing the hard work that we need to do in order to get out of the suffering. The next point they have, you can heal deeper and faster right now than ever before. So this is a fact. So energetically speaking, and actually, let me just read their words. At this time on Earth, emotional healing is well supported by the ascension energies on the planet. You are not only healing for the current lifetime, but into your past lifetimes without even realizing it. Progress that may have taken an entire lifetime 100 years ago can be made within months now. You incarnated now, in part, because you wanted to take advantage of this healing opportunity. So this is a fact. This is a major component to why all the Lightworkers were like, yeah, I'll go down. 2024, yes, I want to be alive for that. Because we are trying to do this massive overhaul of our energetics. We're trying to purge all this trauma from all these lifetimes. We're trying to balance the karma. We're trying to resolve all the cycles of behavior that we've been stuck in over and over and over again. And we're tired of it. And we're like, you know what? This is a great opportunity to evolve spiritually, to release these things, to let go, to rise above these things finally. It's like you're shedding like the backpack and the heavy luggage. We want to take it off finally. We want to be lighter. So this is why we are here. One of the major reasons. Another point they want to bring up is you can ask for your guide's help. You can and you should ask for your guide's help when you are processing trauma, and actually for everything. But let's just talk about your healing journey. If you ask your guides to help you heal, they will bring you what is needed. Yes, you do need to ask them. So this is part of free will. They're not going to interfere with your life. If you say, hey, please help me. I need help. Please help me process this. They are happy to help you. They will assist you. Understand that what you need may come to you in ways that you do not expect. If you need to release more emotions, so let's say you're avoiding processing something painful, looking deeper into it. If you're avoiding something and they know you need to heal that, then most likely they're going to send you things that are likely to trigger you back into that emotion. Because for your highest good, you need the healing, and they can't do the healing for you. They can't just give you the answer and you're just going to walk away. You have to go through that process. And so they're going to redirect you to the process you should be going through. If you are struggling with finding wisdom in the experience, they can help you to figure out what it is. So if you're not scared of feeling the emotions, you're going through it, but you're like, you know what? I'm having such a hard time seeing how this was helpful. I'm having such a hard time. I want to understand. And so if you want to understand and you ask them to help you, they're going to help bring it to you. And honestly, when you get it, your brain is going to be like, that's too simple, or your brain is not going to like it. That's what happens a lot of times with me, where I'm like, well, yeah, that made me more compassionate, but did we have to do all that? And they're like, yeah, this is what it took. This is what was needed. So sometimes the brain doesn't like the answer, but if you ask them for help, they're going to help you. Okay, last point. I feel like, hold on, I'm going to pull this up because I feel like I want to make sure I have the right information for you because I wrote something down, but I feel like it was something else. I also have this information on Medium if you're interested in reading it there. Here we go. So the last point they made was emotional healing is crucial to your well-being on every level. While emotions are present, both with and without a physical body. So Metatron, or Yeshua, they come over, they hang out with me. They get emotional over stuff. They start crying, and it makes me cry if they're in my energy. Energy beings have emotions just the same way we do. However, most of processing trauma, most of it can only be done while in a physical body. This is why we incarnate. You can, how do I explain it? Because we do go through therapy, essentially, after we die. We die, we go back through the white light tunnel, everyone welcomes us back, we start remembering things. We review our life. We get to feel all the emotions of everyone we impacted. So if you were unkind with some people, you will feel how they felt in those moments. If you were loving with some people, you will feel how they felt in those moments. And so you will relive your life from a higher perspective, from a more omnipresent perspective. You will get the full understanding of what actually happened, not just your perspective. And then after we review our life, we have like all this trauma, essentially, all the stuff we didn't process from that lifetime. And so we work with angelic beings or ascended masters to help process those feelings. But the reality is that they give us knowledge in that time, and it's helpful in that time, but we have to be able to implement it while in a physical body, or it doesn't, quote, count. And it's hard to explain because there's so much that has to be done in a physical body, because the trauma you received was received in a physical body. So only in a physical body can it be released. I hope that kind of makes sense. Let me continue what they said. Trauma received during past lifetimes, if not processed entirely, is stored within the emotional body and is present during all future incarnations until it is processed. If trauma is held long enough, it can start manifesting in the physical body as pain and disease. So I think all of you guys know this, but if you don't, so let's say someone is murdered, right? They got murdered, so they didn't have time to process that lifetime or process the murder in that lifetime because they died. So they're murdered, they die, they decide to incarnate again. Well, they are carrying the trauma from the last lifetime. And so that trauma still needs to be processed, even though they're in an entirely different lifetime now. So this is kind of part of the struggle we have, is that we are carrying this huge backpack full of trauma from who knows how many incarnations, not just Earth, everywhere, all over this galaxy and other galaxies. Okay? We have a lot we are carrying around. So if we aren't able to process it, or we don't process it in that lifetime, it gets saved for later. That's what we're dealing with. And then, of course, if we hold on to trauma long enough, at some point it starts manifesting as physical problems. And I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. I'm just going to leave that as it is. So I'm going to give you like the really easy 2-point method of trying to resolve your trauma. Obviously, this could probably be its own separate video for a really long time, but just kind of the gist of processing your trauma. Start by addressing painful events that happened in your current lifetime, because whatever has happened in this current lifetime is mirroring or connecting to other traumas from past lifetimes that are really deep. So if you look at this lifetime, you're like, well, I was sexually assaulted, and I got divorced, my mother died. Like you have all these events, right, where you're like, these were very difficult. And all of those tie into multiple past lifetimes where trauma was sustained. So if you look at like the sexual assault, it's this lifetime, but it's almost like there's a little cord that ties back to every time this ever happened in the past. And if you take the time to heal this one, you're going to inadvertently go back into the past and start healing those as well. So that's one of the reasons why you want to start with your current lifetime. Two, most people don't know offhand all of their past lifetime traumas. Even I don't know all of my past lifetime traumas, and I can go and look if I really want to. So things that you'll want to think about. I'm going to list some things. This is not all inclusive, but things that happened to you in this lifetime that you will want to look at: death of a loved one, a relationship ending, sexual assault, childhood neglect or childhood abuse, being diagnosed with an illness, job loss, addictions, divorce, homelessness, fertility struggles, miscarriage, toxic relationships, being displaced from your home, loneliness, or witnessing war or crime. So this is not all inclusive, but if any of those you could say, yeah, that's me, that's something to look at. Allow yourself to grieve these experiences and try your best to identify false beliefs that you may hold from your trauma. So what I mean by that is, an example is, let's take childhood neglect or childhood abuse as an example. So a person who experienced childhood neglect or childhood abuse may believe that they are unworthy of love because in this lifetime, they were little, they were pure love, they loved their parents, and their parents did not give them love back. And so um, our brain tries to understand. And so the brain oftentimes comes up with lies, which in this case could be something like, well, they didn't give me love because I don't deserve love. So you will want to examine each trauma or each painful experience to see if you started believing something from that experience that is not true. So that is something that's work that you could do on your own. A lot of times, at least for myself personally, writing this information down helps me to identify my feelings, process my feelings, identify what false beliefs I may hold. um, you could also use like traditional therapy to assist you with this. You could use hypnotherapy to assist you with this, self-help books, energy healing, or anything else that makes you feel supported through that process. If you would like assistance with healing from current lifetime traumas, there are two services that we have that would meet that need for you. So if you want assistance with releasing that trauma, one of the sessions we have is healing with Metatron. So that session isn't necessarily designed specifically for current life trauma. It's going to be targeting anything and everything that your energy would benefit from, truly. So Susan does that session. It would be very likely for her to be pulling up past lifetime trauma from you, which is probably going to be tied into some of the current lifetime things you're going through. Um, but when Susan and Metatron get together to do that healing session, it's whatever's for your greatest and highest good, whatever's holding you back the most. So the target, the aim of that session is always to bring you healing on an emotional level. And so, like I said, it can carry into current lifetime, it can carry into past lifetime. The other session we have that is suitable for healing emotional trauma, whether it's current lifetime, past lifetime, or both, is going to be our personalized music for healing support. So that is it's not a session where you meet with anyone. It's a session, well, it's not even a session. It's a service where you're basically purchasing Annex Arcana to channel music from his guides, which are typically Ra and Khonsu, who are both Egyptian gods, both very good with healing. So he will channel music specifically for you in order to, again, serve whatever healing is in your greatest good, whatever is going to serve you the best at that time. That's what's going to be channeled for you. And so that's music that you'll listen to over a long period of time, usually multiple weeks, multiple times per week, in order to kind of lift off different layers of that trauma as part of the healing. So either one of those sessions could work for you. Um, so the first step, again, is addressing the current lifetime trauma because it mirrors past lifetimes. If you feel like you've exhausted your current lifetime healing, or if you just feel like there's a lot of past lifetime issues that are holding you back from your current lifetime, then you can start digging deeper and going into the past lifetime healing. Much of your past lifetime trauma actually gets addressed without you even knowing about it. So it's not like you have to be aware of what the past lifetime is in order to heal it. Because, like I said, your current lifetime issues are tied back with past lifetimes. So past lifetime trauma can be resolved during dreaming, during meditation, during like yoga and exercising, or while processing current lifetime emotions. Certain past life traumas are more significant. Certain past life traumas do require your conscious awareness in order to release them and become aware of them in order to make conscious choices to not repeat that behavior. So in those cases, and let me just see what I have written here. Healing past lifetime trauma is helpful to address energetic blocks that are holding you back from your highest possible timeline and experiences on Earth. So obviously, not everyone can consciously access their past life um, traumas. If you are interested in kind of starting to dabble in that, what I would recommend for you is to go on YouTube, which you're already on, right? Go on YouTube. There are lots of fantastic hypnotherapists on here, or yeah, I'm going to call them hypnotherapists. I don't know if that's the exact right term or not, but they might just be hypnotists. Anyways, there are guided meditations that you can listen to from hypnotherapists that will guide you into a past lifetime. And it'll tell you, okay, it'll take you down this journey, this visual journey while your eyes are closed. And it'll say, okay, what do you look at your feet? What do your feet look like? Do you have shoes on? Look at your clothing. What are you wearing? Or whatever. They guide you through. And they can actually very effectively guide you into past lifetimes. I had that happen a lot before I learned how to access the Akashic records. I could use those guided meditations to access all kinds of what seemed like super random past lifetimes. Um, but that's a valid tool for you to use if you want to if you want assistance with it. If you want someone else to access the past lives for you, we offer the Akashic records reading, so we have that available if you are interested in us doing your past lifetime reading for you. We also remove the trauma, so we'll remove the trauma blocks for you and let you know how it's impacting you in the current lifetime so that you can make adjustments to not repeat the behavior. The other session that we have available that really specifically um, connects to past lifetimes is the Lemurian Healing. So obviously this is a specific type of past lifetime, but to be honest with you, if you're watching this video, you had a lifetime on Lemuria. Like 100%. If you're watching this video, you had a lifetime on Lemuria, at least one. You had a lifetime on Atlantis. You had a lifetime in ancient Egypt. You had a lifetime, um, I don't know. Anytime there's a critical event in the history of the planet or the history of the universe or the galaxy, you're there. That's what we're here for. We come for the critical moments in order to push for the light or to get the learning or to get the experience of whatever's going on for that planet. So, if you're interested in the Lemurian healing, that's a very specific type of trauma, but we have that available as well. So that is everything that I have for you as far as kind of steps to address your healing journey. Um, the other thing I want to do with all of you is I've actually made a crystal grid, and I made it for myself, and then I realized I should really be sharing it with more people. So it's a protection grid because the energies of this month are a little bananas. And what I mean by that is, if in case you haven't seen the June energy update that I put out, the energies in June, it's about upgrades. It's about lunar codes that are coming through during the full moon. It's about personal healing. It's about getting ourselves out of that repeating cycle of behavior. So, whenever you're doing healing work, it kind of naturally lowers your vibration, makes you more open to dark energy. Also, uh, the Lightworker Gateway video, they were talking about how we are going to be receiving data or information that's going to be stored in the Alta Major chakras for us. And this is like special energies that need to be given out into the world at certain times um, from all of us light workers. So anytime we are doing anything that's going to kind of like tip the scales in the favor of light, the darkness is going to kind of come in and kind of try to cause little problems. So we could all use a little extra protection right now, probably extra healing too. If you aren't already using the daily protection ritual, please consider using it. We have it available in English, we have it available in Swedish. We have lots of different protection grids on our website. If you're interested, it's all free to download. You can put it as your screensaver or print it out and stick it on your wall, whatever helps you. But the energy grid or the crystal grid that I've put together for you guys today, this is all of the crystals that they wanted me to put together for protection, specifically for what is going on in the month of June. So let's go ahead and let's actually just take a look at that right now. So here's the crystal grid for protection. It's using many of the crystals that were mentioned during the June 2024 energy forecast as crystals recommended for this month. So we have different kinds of uh, amethyst. Different kinds of amethyst points on here. We have some from Brazil. We have Brandenburg points, which it's kind of hard for you to focus in on those. I have amethyst points from Veracruz, so those are here as well. Um, the other one the two other ones that were mentioned, we have lapis lazuli that was mentioned in the video as well. Also black tourmaline that's been cut into Merkabahs, and I have 12 pointed quartz to amplify it all, and then this guy right here really amplifies it all. This is copper and a Merkaba. So that's really adding a lot of energy. And then these guys down here, I wish I could get it to focus. Maybe I have to hold it back farther. These are epido or epidot with quartz. And so that green sparkly is the epido or epidot with quartz. And so that's a magical one. So I'm going to go ahead and activate this right now. I'm actually going to call in a couple different guides. I'm going to use Amanda Ellis's spray for Merlin. We're going to call him in. I already have my dark crystal protection candle burning over here. It has a bunch of black tourmaline in it and all kinds of other stuff. I'm going to call in just the general crystalline dragon population. So I'm going to use Violet Dragon, Master Clearance, and Defense Spray. I'm going to use that, and I'm also going to use the Sanat Kumara Love and Light Activation, which is the same vibration as crystalline energy. And I'm going to spray these both at the same time. There we go. Okay, so I just want to call in all crystalline dragons and Merlin. And I'm going to go ahead and activate this grid right now. And I ask that you align with my energies and add your energies to the power of this grid. There we go. And so this is a grid for protection. Just viewing it for 30 seconds is going to put a little extra protections on you that we don't normally have. If for any reason you want to view this again, you're always welcome to return back to this video to take a look. And that is everything that I have for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.